I got this cross-stitch kit in Japan, but I haven't worked a cross-stitch kit in at least 20 years. So join me in this video to see how I go making this beautiful kit of the Great Wave of Kanagawa. If you want to check out the unboxing of this cross-stitch kit, please check out the playlist. It has been a long time since I did any cross-stitch, so I was going to try my best to follow this to the letter. And you can see I have found the center of the canvas, and I've just put a little brown marker with some thread just there so I don't lose track of it. Though there's a decent fold in the fabric there that I probably wouldn't. And then you can see me counting down, and I've finally decided where I am going to put my first stitch. It took a little bit of time. I marked on the chart where the center was as well, the cross, and my aim was to start with the white bit, which is the wave. That sort of bit that looks like a mountain but is actually a wave. This kit called for you to use the full 6 strands, so I separated out the strands into 3 strands because I wanted to have it doubled to do this loop start, which I'm not going to say it's a new invention, but I think last time I was doing cross stitch it was not a thing. So as you can see, you start from the front, you have your loop which you pass your thread through, and that saves you having a loose end on the back. I really enjoyed using that method right the way through. Now, as I got started with this, I didn't really feel comfortable with how I was beading it. Was I beading it from top to bottom? Did it feel right? It didn't really feel right. And I didn't really know what I was doing, so I just sort of persisted. I just tried it out just to see how it was going. So I did a couple of half stitches in one direction, and then I came back and I created the cross. Whenever you're trying out something, well, I mean, it wasn't for the first time, but like I said, it's been a long time. You're really slow at the beginning. So if this is you as well, don't be too hard on yourself. It's really, you can see me hesitating. Am I moving to the next spot? What am I doing? I just wasn't really comfortable. I didn't feel like it was flowing. So yeah, I've gone back and forth, and at this moment I'm thinking, what am I doing? So I got a few rows completed, and I was pondering, yes, I'm gonna unpick it. I just did not like how it was looking. I didn't like the action that I was sewing in either. So I took it all apart and I restarted it. And I felt much better for doing it, to be honest. I realised one of the problems is that I really do prefer to work towards myself when I'm sewing. And so I changed to that different way of doing it. I quickly moved on to a second colour just to add some interest. I'm using the loop start again. And by this stage I'm already feeling I know what I'm doing a bit better. And as you can see, I'm stitching in hand. I really don't like to use an embroidery loop or frame. I also like to put my needle in and out in one go. Of course, when you are doing quite a thin line that keeps moving sideways as well, here I'm moving upwards and to the left, there's a bit of stitching in different directions, but mostly I'm stitching down like this, which is my more comfortable way of stitching. But here when I'm moving up, I've got to go in a different direction, obviously. I continued on and I was doing a relatively easy part of this pattern. I think I was right to start in the white section and then outline it in the dark brown. It's sort of a dividing line of the pattern, isn't it? And I think it's certainly an easier bit to do until you find your rhythm, and I was certainly still finding my rhythm at this point. I don't think I was quite at the meditative state at this point. I was still sort of like getting into it a little bit. It does take time, and I'm constantly going back and counting down, which you do in cross stitch. That's a given, isn't it? And still stitching fairly slowly at this point as well. Then I went back to doing more of the white section. This is an easy, quick section to cover a lot of ground because you don't have to look back too far. I started using this bit of washi tape just to make sure I was on the right row, because there's not so many defining features just there. It's just a lot of white. And then of course I had to unpick a little bit as well because I miscounted. Also, probably what lots of people end up doing as well. We're not perfect, are we? I'm feeling like this looks like the mountain still, but I keep reminding myself it is the wave. And I've started to add some individual stitches as well. Peeling the washi tape off and trying to find the right place to put it again. Here's me trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing. Perhaps it is easier when there's a smaller area and then you don't have to count across so many. As my confidence grew, I brought in some more colours and I decided to work down into the corner. Whenever I'd done enough of one area and I had a bit of a tail left over, I just brought it to the front out of the way so I could use it later on, rather than trying to count out into the middle of nowhere to add more stitches. I like seeing the shading of the blues develop as well. Here's my little pouch that I was keeping my embroidery threads in. I also got this from Japan, in Muji I got it from, in fact. Same with these scissors. Just a perfect little pair of scissors to use to cut your thread. Next it was time to figure out where I was going to go next. I'd got some little bits to colour in, a few other places that I could go. Could I go up the side? I think I wanted to sort of stay below the line that was created by the wave. One thing I did notice as well is that the edge of this has been overlocked to stop it fraying, which is pretty good. Maybe that's standard, I don't know. So here I am. What am I going to do next? So this is what I did next. This is quite a big jump forward. Lot of wave work done. Really loving the shape of it, really flowing. And there's a gap where a boat is going to go. And Mount Fuji is going to go in the dip of that wave in the distance, like this. So that's where we are. It's looking pretty lifelike at the moment. So far, so good. I am pretty happy with it. What I've been doing is folding over the edge to keep it quite neat and not sort of scrunched up, because I am stitching in my hand. So far it's not crumpling the fabric too much. So here is another big step forward. We've finished all of the lower section below that sort of brown outline of the wave. We've done the boat at the bottom and we've started on the crest of the wave on the left. I also decided to start doing a bit of the sky because it's sort of a bit easier work, though there are two colours in the sky, and I just started at one corner there just to fill that in. I didn't want to jump about too much in case I'd counted the spacing incorrectly. So this section here is where the next boat is going to go, sort of half behind the wave, and I've left that for now. And here's the diagram showing you that. I'm excited to work up to the crest of the wave for sure. I was really doing quite a bit of this because I was enjoying it immensely. The outline of the wave is another big milestone step that's coming up, but I don't want to go ahead and do that either in case I get the spacing a bit wrong. I want to work up to it rather than create outlines to fill in later. So I have pushed on and worked on the crest of the wave, and it's really beginning to take shape. I also worked on a bit more of the sky and brought in the second colour, very similar shades of beige. It's the end of the wave is just really interesting. I really like the way it's taken shape. Watch me here as I make just a little bit of progress on building the outline of the great wave. Having outlined in this dark brown colour really does make it quite distinctive and prominent. It really enhances the whole shape of the wave. I've really enjoyed thinking about my trips to Japan while I have been sewing this, especially my views of Mount Fuji that I've been lucky enough to see. This is not just a cross stitch, it's a memory of my trip to Japan. There we are, the outline started. I've still got a bit more to do, but it's taking shape nicely. I've got a couple of spots to fill in there, and I've got the second colour to do up here, but I've done a lot of these sprinkles. Next I have to build in the Mount Fuji, do the boat. Then I have to do some backstitch on this boat, here and here. And then I will be done. So today we are going to work on the Mount Fuji. So I am back to using the white thread again. It's a bit off-white actually, but it's certainly the colour of the foam in the waves and the snow on Mount Fuji. I've got the tip of Mount Fuji already done here, because I had a little bit of white left over when I was adding those wave splashes. I think I called those sprinkles earlier. That's what they seem like to me, but obviously it's drops of water from the wave. So I was sort of getting a bit sad that I was coming to the end of making this. This was the last little bit of the landscape. I had the low sky and greys to do behind this afterwards, and then afterwards I was onto the outlining. It was quite meditative at this stage. Nothing too tricky to follow. Just a little bit of Mount Fuji snow and then the base of it. I've outlined these bits. There's this boat here. Fuji looks really good though. And then this boat here's outlined. These are little people. Yeah, tiny people lined up. I think there's a couple here as well. Last bit to do is here. So that was the last little bit of backstitch that I needed to do on the boat. And then we were on to the French knots. I'd had a practice doing some French knots and, well, I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I had to practice several times to get it right. I think it's something to do with holding the tension on your thread, because if you don't hold that knot around the needle, when you pull it through, it just disappears completely. Anyway, a few practice sessions, and I can't say they were perfect, but there were knots of some sort happening, so I was pleased with that. It's not a big feature of it, so I just pushed on and got all those little French knots done. This was all the embroidery thread that I had left over. There was quite a bit. What do you do with your leftover threads? You just store them away? That's what I'll do. So here's a reminder of the instructions that came with it. So this was the Olympus brand, if you want to do it as well. And the design number was 7136. And you can get it directly from this website in Japan, olympusthread.com. On the back they show you some of the other kits that are available with a similar Mount Fuji theme. I quite like this one and this one. I did consider going ahead and buying them, but I thought I've got plenty of other things to do. Maybe I will get those another time, but I am tempted indeed. This is the frame that you can also get from Olympus. They are the exact size that you need for your cross stitch, which is really good, and it tells you what model number frame to order as well. Just reviewing the instructions of what to do next. This is where I'm up to. I'm either going to put it in water, but probably not. But I think I will definitely iron it. Thought I'd get the Google Translate out if your piece is dirty, which mine isn't, so I don't think I'll wash it. Google Translate is really good for some of these things. I mean, the photos are self-explanatory, but nothing like having it translated into pretty good English. Oh, I think I will frame it. I might just have to do that at another time though. I'm so very happy with this cross stitch of the Great Wave of Kanagawa. It is not the neatest cross stitch ever, but I'm not going to look too closely. I'm just going to enjoy it. And I think it is a very great representation of it. It's detailed enough, but not too detailed. And I love it. I hope you do too. I'm very tempted to get some of the other cross stitches in this series. But for now, I'm going to follow the instructions and maybe press it because it's got this unpleasant crease through the middle. And then I need to decide what I'm going to do with it because I am not quite sure just yet. But I still love it. I hope you have enjoyed following me through this return to cross stitch. I've certainly picked up a few hints and tips along the way, but at the end of the day, the most important thing I realised was the rules are the only ones that you want to follow. What do you think? I'd love to hear, so please put your comments below. If you have enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to follow my various travels and the things I create.